I've really been diving into a lot of like leadership, reading, YouTube. I'm just honing in on what true leadership is, right? And it's a servant mentality. Like from Tony Robbins, dude, you'd name any influential leader that's gone on and been a public speaker and has the skill set to influence others, etc. And the things that have caught my eye are a servant leader. So you have to have a servant mentality. You have to listen, truly listen intently. And you have to be able to have the skill set, possess the skill set, or learn it or study it to influence others.
What's up, guys? This is nateforse, and this is the Seed Time and Harvest podcast. I'm with my main man, Alex Chapman.
Yo.
We're on episode 19, dude. That's kind of crazy.
Coming up, dude. Hit the big 2-0 soon.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
But we're talking about today, are you a hater or a congratulator? And, we were just talking offline about this. That's your phrase, by the way. You say that all the time, but I love it.
Yeah, man. You're one or the other. It's hard to be in between.
Totally. So what's your thoughts on this, man?
Well, it's in a culture of, and we've talked through this together on here, on the podcast, offline, of celebrating people's wins, being happy for others, leading others. And I've really been diving into a lot of like leadership, reading, YouTube. I'm just honing in on what true leadership is, right? And it's a servant mentality. Like from Tony Robbins, dude, you'd name any influential leader that's gone on and been a public speaker and has the skill set to influence others, etc. And the things that have caught my eye are a servant leader. So you have to have a servant mentality. You have to listen, truly listen intently. And you have to be able to have the skill set, possess the skill set, or learn it or study it to influence others. In a positive way, obviously, right? Because you can be bad influence too, right? And so, and I've been a good influence, I've been a bad influence in my life, right? So, going through all of this, and then going through some adversity and challenges myself, right? So we just were offered an expansion deal with B1 to take our office here in Denver that we've spent, 8 years. God, what is it? 2018. So yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, that's when it started. And then we've gone through trials, tribulations, challenges, adversity, debt, buyouts, lawsuits, like any business owner, you're like really trying to grow, you've gone through. And so throughout those stages, I've always had that mindset. You've heard me say hater or congratulator a lot. And it's like, you can be one or the other, right? And if you're in between, you really just have no dog in the fight. But you're either going to hate on somebody and talk crap behind their back, give them stage time when they don't need it, badmouth them, slander them, defame their character. Or you're going to go through you're going to either be that person, they won because they're tall.
Yeah.
Dude, it's because of his mom. Dude, if his mom didn't own Live Sotheby's, dude, Josh Bear would no.
Yeah.
You don't know Josh. Josh is a baller, right? His mom had a great network. She opened maybe one door. He had to run through and get all of it done. So you have to really know people's story, and you can either dislike them for who they are as a human, or you can really appreciate and congratulate them as like, wow, like, man, you'd want to hate on this guy or this woman or this company or this brand. But man, you really have to dive deep and have a little humility to be like, wow, man, I want to see them win. And big part of leadership, especially with a team like this, is you have to have this serious belief, and you can't fake it, of really wanting to see others win, right? So someone claims a $5 million lead. You have to really want them to, man, you deserve this. I really want this for you and your family. If you don't mean that, that's really toxic. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird place to be as a person. This fake masked, like you don't want someone else to have something great.
Yeah.
You can't eat it all. You can't have all of it, right? And so to me, and as we're talking to our team, as we're expanding and doing all these things, I'm starting to feel a little bit of the hate not congratulate. Right. And to me, it's like just been this like incredible energizing feeling, because you do know that when slander starts, or defaming or hating, instead of congratulating and wow, man, they deserve it. Those people have put in some serious work, man. Congrats.
Yeah.
That's huge. You know you're getting somewhere when your haters become, was it Cat Williams? That was like, if I'd only have 38 haters before the summer, I'm looking to have 52 by the end of the summer. The more haters I get, and if anyone in the audience wants to hate on me, feel free to hate on me right now, because it's like it fuels certain people, or it takes you down, right? Especially when you know you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Right. And so to me, it's like, you know, you called me, and we can talk about this. You called me yesterday, and you're like, dude, I just met this like amazing client that I've been working on. And, you know, in our industry, we're like, this is a whale. I mean, you harpoon this client in this whale, the villages that this whale could feed go beyond the Force family.
Yeah, totally.
You're feeding families with a relationship like this, and you curate it, and you love it, and you coddle it, and you put it in a jar, and you hide it in your backyard, right? And so, but there's, you know, when we talk, I mean, it's like, bro, stop. This is big for you.
Yeah.
Right? And it was like, it's immediate, because I want you, I know what you want in life, and I know what this could mean to you.
Yeah.
And to your wife and your amazing kids. And maybe like for me as the owner of the company, or leader, or, you know, friend and partner with you in many ways and all this, maybe that person can get you there faster than I can. Dude, you got to take it. Yeah. Take that deal.
Yeah.
Right. And that's to me, the difference between like hating and congratulating. And then sometimes it is very hard, no matter how loving you are, how humble you are, to not go, dude, I gave you that. Yeah. You're not even recognizing me. I put you here. I hired you. I mentored you. Now you're doing this. So it's hard not to have resentment too.
Yeah. And I'll be fully transparent. Like, there's definitely part of me when someone else gets that $5 million lead, it's like, that should be mine.
You deserve it.
And I'm like, is that a healthy place of like, you know, like, for example, what got me into this business was I called you guys and I was like, hey, what did you make in this business? And like seeing what those numbers were, I immediately was like, okay, because he did it, I can do it. It wasn't like a, you know, oh man, he's just blessed because of blah, blah, blah. It was just proof to me that he could do it. Going back to like Josh Bear, what people don't realize is he probably has a bigger hill to climb because they knew his mom before.
So
and they
much
don't
pressure.
Trust that person yet. And so you have to go above and beyond to earn that. Like, you might have a seat at the table, but that person is going to be skeptical. Like, oh, this is just nepotism. Like, you're just in this because of your mom, blah, blah, blah. So you have to like double prove yourself, in my opinion. And not that we're here to prove ourselves to other people. Like, the only proof I need is from my Heavenly Father, you know? Like, that's the only validation I need. But like, I'd be lying if I said there isn't still a piece of me that has to die where like I'm looking for that approval from others of like what I accomplish and things like that, which was my old, you know, hurdle. Right. And so like, there's definitely a piece of me still where I see that and I'm like, oh man, like I want that. But then there's the healthy side where I have to switch that off, take that thought out. I'm like, no, he deserves it too. Like, the more we do, the better it's going to be, you know? And so it's just like, we all get opportunities. Like, luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right? Chance comes for every man, but it's a matter of if you're ready for it when that time happens. Have you done the work behind it to actually support that? Because that birdie's going to fly off if you're not ready. So I think we're in a place like also. And
you may never see that bird again.
Yeah. But to me, like, I think hate is also a confirmation that you're on the right track. Because if you're sitting on the couch, you got no haters.
No.
You know, if you're actually doing something, then it's. And then also, too, it shows you who you need to be around. That's right. You know, our conversation yesterday, it was like, Alex is in my corner. He's one of my 5. Yeah. He's a person that says, no, like, let's get it. Let's keep going. And it's like, how do we do this thing together? Because we don't even know what we're capable of. Like I was telling to the guys all the time, I was like, I'm not saying the sky's the limit anymore. There is no limit. Like, there's literally no limit. So
it's infinite. I mean, and it's, the whales are different. We talk about peaks and valleys. We've talked about that a ton. these climbs, these valleys, or your peak might be different than mine right now.
Yeah.
Your valley might be different than mine right now. And what's so cool and how we know we're on the right speed, the right frequencies, and, you know, the right faith and the right beliefs and the right core values and disciplines is you were just offered something that you're prepared for, right? Like you just had an opportunity come into your world that you're prepared for, but it's going to take more preparation, more education, more studying, more money.
Sure.
Right? Or later days, or see how you get higher and higher, and you're like, oh gosh, you're in a valley right now, but maybe you weren't. Maybe you were in a peak in what you've been doing with the team with like inspiration and getting people at the meeting and the impact you've been able to make in like such a short period of time.
Yeah.
Might not see the fruits of like, oh, like I'm making $1 million off of this concept, but the impact you're making on their lives, their perception, their gratitude, you know, their attitude, everything is starting to shift in their world because of you. You put the time into someone. You did that, and so you're climbing that peak, and then you get a message delivered to you from this eagle on the mountain, and they're like, "Hey, you might need to pivot here."
Yeah,
and you're like, "Whoa, I wasn't expecting this," and that's kind of how Dallas was. So yours came. It's funny that because I made this analogy the other day. What Dallas is to us right now is me a few years ago getting a $10 million listing. And not just the listing, the type of client it is, the amount of investment it's going to take, the pressure on timing, maybe it needs to be sold, how direct that person might be with me and what it is. And it's like, okay, I'm prepared for this, but man, this is scary. This is hard. This is a huge investment, man. I got to bet on myself here.
Yeah.
And my abilities, and I got to double down on my skill set, my professionalism, my marketing, my investment on the staging, this listing's going to cost me like 15 G's just to get it going. Yeah. Right. To really do it right. Maybe more. Oh my God, I forgot about the broker open. And so that's our $10 million listing right now. So it's like the problems don't go away. The opportunities don't go away. They just change and grow. And so you've got this life-changing thing that just hit you. We have a life-changing thing that just hit us. You're going to need people to come and help you with that. We're going to need people to come help us with this. And so I love it because you just, you know, the more happy you are for people that are winning, genuine happiness, not phony stuff, not being happy because you want them to think you're happy, but you are truly praying for them to get this done. You want it for their family. You feel they deserve it. Man, it works its magic, you know? It's bizarre.
It's cool, dude.
It is.
I feel like everything that's coming our way is confirmation that we're on the right track.
Yep.
So like healthy things grow.
Yep.
If we weren't growing, these opportunities wouldn't be coming.
No.
Yeah. And maybe what I'm feeling is like we talked about kind of at the beginning of the year, like back in December, it was like being in new water is like an uncomfortable feeling. Like I kind of always had played, you know, where I could just splash around a little bit, but I can still touch the bottom. Now, once you get out into like that deep water, it's 8 foot, it's 12 foot, it's 20 feet. Like it's like getting into this new opportunity now is like even deeper water. It's like, oh man, I just got used to this. And now it's like, this is coming. So it's like that kind of, and to me, like that's where you fall back on your discipline. To me, like if I didn't have my routines, this would be like extremely stressful.
And your nose. You have to now think about the no's you might have to say.
Yeah.
No, I can't help you with that.
Yeah.
Here's why.
Yeah.
I need you to help me with this. Here's why. And so like, you know, you got to ask for help and say no when people ask you for help sometimes. You know, so it's like, you know, and you are a servant leader.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, it's hard because you don't want to say no.
For sure.
You've just started building something very cool, and you might have to take away from that.
Yeah.
To go and accomplish what is in front of you, and this could open up so many doors. And so I see that, you see that. The people that are maybe looking to you right now may not see that. They might see that's where the hate and congratulate will come in.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I've got this amazing opportunity. I've got to run.
Yeah.
This is what I've set forth with you guys. Here's this person. They're going to help with this now. I'm going to need you, and you to help me with this. Maybe the other 3 or 4 are like, what about me?
Yeah.
You're like, man. It's challenging, but you know, it's leadership is not for everyone.
Totally.
It is not for everyone. It is you sacrifice.
Yeah.
You sacrifice time, money, energy, emotions, sleep.
Yeah.
Not for dollars either.
Yeah.
It's weird. You have to love it.
Well, some dude, Jesus, he said, if you want to be great, learn to be a servant. You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm so tired today. I was like, who is that?
And I was like, the more I learn, the more I'm like, that's so true. You know, the key to greatness is service to many, right?
It is.
Like, if you want to have everything you want, help enough people get what they want. Like, how many times have people said it in a different way? And it's like ancient wisdom. And it really is true the more I learn. And it's a struggle to like take the financial piece out of it. Like, can you give without any expectation?
Oof.
Like, that to me is a challenge. And so
for everyone it is, especially as you get older.
Yeah. And I think I'm feeling funky right now because I've had a little bit of an expectation like, oh, this is going to come back to me. But like, it's another learning lesson of like, no, you just need to give and not worry about it. And then you trust that it's going to come. And then like opportunities like this come.
Well, and you're also let down.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Sure.
By human beings.
Totally.
Right? Because not everyone takes what you give them and does what they should.
It's like we talked about yesterday, like the relationship ATM.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
those
like,
deposits.
Are you putting deposits in? Are you putting deposits in?
Yeah.
Or are you just withdrawing all the time? And I think a lot of people don't understand that.
No.
Yeah.
There's a few analogies there, comparative analogies you can make. I love the relationship ATM. Like when you're calling me.
Yeah.
Are you making a deposit or a withdrawal? I'm open for both.
Yeah.
Like I'm an ATM.
Sure.
So I'm ready to give you and I'm ready to receive you, right?
Yeah.
And whatever it is that you do. Now, you're going to see over time there's a pattern of the givers and takers, right? And you do, it's like the giving tree I have tattooed on me, right? That was my mother, right? She would give until she was the stump. So I have nothing left because I gave everything. And I don't know, I'm probably, maybe my brother and I are like the last 2 people in her life that could say, hey, here's what it is. And so it's a huge why for me is like, she's old enough now. Like, oh man, if I could just somehow in the next few years figure out a way to where she doesn't have to like make these moves anymore forever. It's the oldest saying in the book, man, buy my mom a house, man. Mom, I'm gonna buy you a house, buy you a car. Like every athlete, every superstar, as it's first place they go because that person gave them everything. Right. And so, but humanity and society usually breaks you down of that because you've given, you've made so many withdrawals. And then all of a sudden you realize the cold truth of just people. Mm-hmm. They don't want to give credit where credit's due. They take and they run. They never come back and make a deposit. Yeah. And deposits aren't money, just so everyone's clear. It's gratitude. It's high fives. Energy. It's hugs. It's energy. Great conversation. Yeah. Right. And I mean, Gunnar Simon is like an ambassador of this. Right. And I've known him for years and years. Shout out to Gunnar. He is somebody who, since I met him and since we got in this business together, would always congratulate me. Pull me aside privately, tell me how much I deserved X, Y, and Z. Thank you so much for what he just. I love being around him because it's just such a loving, healthy, unconditionally appreciative person. Like he loves you and appreciates you unconditionally. Like no matter what happens, he knows the character of who he's with. He knows where he's around, and he loves giving gratitude. He loves giving thanks. He loves sharing wins.
Yeah.
And even if there were times, dude, as we were growing in the game where I would close boom, 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 and he'd have maybe a deal that he was like struggling with, a land deal, something like, and he would just still be so positive. And I never will forget those moments with him of just these amazing times of grace and gratitude and thanks that he always gave. And so he will always be somebody
I love it.
that I love for that.
I think like the hater congratulator is also a test.
Yeah.
If you can truly be grateful for someone else, that means you're opening yourself up to what's meant to come to you as well. But if you're like, oh man, he only got that because of this, and I should be in that position, and then you're literally like putting up a dam of what's trying to come to you. And like, to me, that's where it's a thought I have to take captive, where I have to like work, just being vulnerable. Like I have to work to like get to that point, and like, okay, I actually feel, and it's like the more you do it, the better you get at it, you know? So it's just
so hard.
Yeah, it's part of the process, right?
We're actually talking about one of the hardest things to accomplish in life is gratitude, real gratitude, and real servant leadership, giving without expectations, unconditional love, really, for everyone.
Yeah.
Any phone call, any situation, you're just forgiving. You have grace. You have patience.
And then you just stay in your lane too. You're not distracted by this and this and this.
That's right.
You know, so it's funny, like what we're talking about now, because I had my parents in town last weekend. It's always a challenging time because it's like working through stuff and there's old hurts there and everything.
Yeah.
And I've had some crazy dreams since then, just like weird stuff. I'm like, what the heck? Like, you ever have a dream you wake up and you're like in a funky place because it feels like it actually happened to you, but then you're like, wait a minute, that was just a dream. So it was just a lesson too of like, I always have control over me, control what you can control, right? And the way I help someone else change is by changing me. And a lot of my life I focused on like, oh, I need to get Alex to do this, and he needs to treat me. But then it's all externally focused, and like you're out of your lane, right?
Right.
And then you're being a hater,
right?
Because I'm like, well, he should think this, or he should have told me this, or he should like, and like you're putting expectations on something where that person probably isn't even thinking about you,
right?
And then you're wasting your energy on something that doesn't even matter. And so it's just like, I think it's like it goes deeper than just hating on other people. It's almost like you're hating on yourself.
Oh yeah,
like love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you don't love yourself, how do you love other people? So if you're constantly in this, and it's like something I'm learning still. And it's funny how like you think you get to a peak, but then you get to that peak and it was a valley.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, I still got so much further to go. It's like, holy crap, are you kidding me? Like, and that's just kind of the way I'm feeling right now. But it's like, as you get up there, there's new growth. And I think that's why it says like, without faith, it's impossible to please God.
Yeah.
Like if you're not putting yourself in positions that need faith, then you're just in your comfort zone and you're not doing anything. You're not changing the world, but ultimately you're not changing yourself.
God, there's a lot of confusion on this too, because it's become a very selfish society.
Yeah.
Selfies. How many likes do I get? It's like this constant like affirmation you're seeking for yourself. But that's the dark side of it. Mm-hmm. The light of that is like self-love is really just, you know, how much time are you putting into yourself and people? Every podcast, every mentor, every person that you see on here, every Ed Milet, everyone talks about you got to make those deposits internally.
Yeah.
Right. And I was just talking to Haley this morning about it, of like, you know, after having a baby, just what you go through.
Yeah.
Emotionally, mentally, physically, right? Spiritually, like you're going through the hardest time of your life with all those different emotions. And she's not taking that time, 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. And I was like, listen, time out. Like the baby does need everything. She can't feed herself yet. She can't clothe herself yet. She can't bathe herself yet. Right? She can't do anything. She can't lift herself up. She can't go to the fridge. She can't do anything.
Yeah.
So she needs 100% of you. I get it. Mm-hmm. Then you're next. Not me. Not the kids.
Yeah.
Not the house. Nothing else. Mm-hmm. No food, no chores, nothing. You're next. L, baby, she needs 100% of you. You're next. You got to make that deposit, and they're small initially. With timing, you're tapping in and out, because once you start making those, it's going to compound. That's why fitness has always been such a big thing for me and you.
Yeah.
Because it's the biggest display of self-love. You are taking time to make yourself better. You feel good.
Yeah.
You're confident. You feel, and I know it's like kind of like there's some vanity behind this, because like, oh, he's fit or he's lean, or she's fit or she's lean, or but what that does to your confidence, you could be, what I always say, you could be dead broke and shredded, happy as a clam, because you just feel so good.
Yeah.
You're not really thinking, yes, you want to get better. Yes. But man, because you've built that foundation of yourself, now you can go move mountains.
Yeah.
You've made all these deposits. You feel good. You've got some discipline aligned. It's bizarre. Like, but a lot of people look at it as like selfish.
Yeah. It can be.
Yeah.
But it is self-love, right? You love your neighbor as you love yourself. So if you're not taking care of yourself, do you really love yourself?
Right.
So
Right. And if you don't love yourself, you can't. No one can love you, and you're not loving anyone.
Yeah. But I mean, a lot of fitness people, like it becomes also an obsession.
Oh yeah.
Where it's all about me. And so I think it's all going back to like going hater or congratulator.
Yep.
Are you hating on yourself? Because ultimately, if it becomes all about you, how shredded can I be? Well, my abs are better than Alex's, or vice versa. Then like I'm in a comparison mode all the time, right? Oh. So it's just like I feel you, but this like goes back to that balance lesson of like everything has to have a balance to it, And I've been meaning to ask you this because I've been processing through this. So it's weird. Like I come from this position of, being a leader on our team now and all this cool stuff, these opportunities you're talking about and everything. And then when I go home, it's like all of that completely shuts off and I'm just dad.
Yeah.
And I'm changing diapers and I'm doing baths. And like most nights I don't get to see my wife till like 8:39. And then usually we're just like so tired. It's just like, let's do this and do it again tomorrow. Like I told her last night, I was like, do I get a participation trophy for just getting through the day? Like where's the mariachi band that pops out and everything? But like, I think it's too, as a dad, is learning that balance. Like, so you talk about, Haley needs time to recharge. I'm like, dang, I need that as well. Cause it's like when you're in servant mode all the time, I used to say this in fitness, like how can you expect to give to others if your cup's empty? Like you can't give from zero, right? You have to have overflow in order to give. So it feels to me like there's water bottles right here. Like it's a constant battle of like, fill it back up, fill it back up, fill it back up. And it's just like barely a little bit and then it's less. And so it's just like an interesting dynamic of having kids now. And like, they don't care what I did throughout the day.
No.
One thing I do with my son every night, I always ask him like, hey buddy, what was your favorite part about today? We lay down and he always goes, what was your favorite part? And we start this little cute conversation. It's like the best part of my day. And every day, no matter what, none of my answers have anything to do with business.
No.
And it's like a lesson to me. It's like actually makes me emotional talking about it. But like, no matter what you do in business, how much money you make, like that's what really matters, dude.
There's nothing else.
And like,
there's nothing else.
Like you could be like a multimillionaire and have all these followers and fancy cars, but it's really to me like, man, I just want to spend time with them. Like my best days are just like, I love to just be at home. Like that's like the most fun I can ever have.
Yeah.
So
not everyone feels that way. I mean, you have to build that. And I mean, it's, I was always a good dad.
Yeah.
I wasn't the best dad because from the time the kids were born until they were about 7, I was like, Mulan was like 7. I was obsessed with trying to get ahead. Right? We moved every year for 7 years. I mean, it was just like you can't get a balance with that. You're never really home. You're always kind of in between something. You're up, you're down, you're around, right? And then I would leave for the gym or work. They were asleep. I'd get home from work. They were asleep. Right? I'd get a Sunday here or a Thursday there or something where I was trying to be present. I was on the phone. I was like, And it's not like I was really getting ahead in those 7 years. I was just treading water, which is really brutal, right? And then we got into our house. We had some consistency for about 5 or 6 years, right? And it was like 6 years. 6 years, and then for another 6, they were 12 when we moved. Mulan was 12, but then from that time, then the divorce came, and everything just kind of fell apart again. And it was like only recently have I been able to accomplish what you're talking about right now, where the last 3 years I was so busted up and broken that the only grace and gratitude and joy I could find was through them. I had to just look at Jet in his eyes and Mulan in hers and find joy in those little conversations and what impact I could make on them in a positive way, what friendship I could build with them, trust I could build with them as they get older. And you'll experience that here soon. Every time I talk to you, you're with your boy, and you'll have different relationships with all three, right? Yeah. And then Elle is born, and I'm turning 40 as I'm having a baby, and I would never planned on that in a million years. The stress of that, work, hard to find joy, and this miracle, and this beautiful thing that, dude, Elle doesn't. She just wants to tell me the words that she knows: smile, laugh, hug, cuddle, play, eat. Sleep, cuddle, play, rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah.
And
poop.
Bathe and just but to watch the purity of children from my daughter about to be 16 is still my baby girl.
Oh yeah.
My son is still my baby boy. But I'm finding these moments of just the most incredible the most incredible feelings you can possibly feel, and I'm able to finally tune out the world like that, like how you're talking. Like when I'm at Jet's game, I'm at his game.
Yeah.
Right, and there is no greater feeling than watching him compete, and he just so happens to be like really good, and
no surprise there.
and it's like. And my daughter, when I'm talking to her and we're vibing, we're on a level, we're so honest and authentic with each other, there's no greater moment. And then when I see Haley with Elle and I'm watching this happen and I'm watching her, teach her new things, and then I get to hold her, or at night sometimes I'll just lay there and stare at her. Like, you have to find these moments that are just so much more beautiful than all the bullshit we deal with.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is through children. Have children.
Yeah.
Right? And our generation, the society is not, and some people can't have kids, or they tried and it didn't work out or whatever. But if you are able to do it, do it. Right? And don't wait for the perfect time to do it. You need children. You need them in your life. I mean, they bring you so much closer to God, so much closer to joy, real happiness, authentic happiness. It's just incredible. I would being a father is my biggest accomplishment.
I mean, to me, it's like, what better title will you ever hold than dad?
Dad.
Yeah. Like,
That's
regardless of
spot on. And I'm the same as you. I get choked up.
Yeah.
Even talking about the kids.
I have a friend who recently went through a divorce, and he's kind of left his older kids, teenagers, and I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't understand that. Like, I understand relationships not working out.
Right.
But how could you ever leave those people?
Yeah, that's tough. And yeah, that's tough. And there's some tough living situations out there.
Yeah, I'm not judging. I'm not saying that. I don't know all the details of it, but from the outside looking in,
you don't get it. You can't comprehend how that happens.
Because to me, like, being a dad has taught me more about life than anything in my entire life.
Yeah.
About God's love for me, about like the way God sees me, like, because that's the way I look at my son, It's just like, oh my goodness, like, how did I live my life not knowing this was here? And like, that was the first time I held him. It was like I had this image. I'm holding this little 7-pound human, and like behind me was like 300 miles of, my Heavenly Father holding me. And it was like this moment just like smacked me. Like, I didn't realize I was living my whole life not knowing I was supported like that. and thinking I'm all on my own and doing this all on my own. And like, and that was a life-changing moment for me. And like, I'll never forget that. And that's, I think,
so powerful.
Why that little dude is so much to me. And like, obviously having 2 daughters as well. Like, I'm excited for that.
You're smoked.
Greatest fear in life, you know?
You're smoked.
But like, to me, like, you have to be present in order to know that. And if one of my biggest potential regrets, one of the things I guess I fear, is being that dad who gets all this worldly success at the expense of his family, you know? And like, that's one of the things, like, I never want to be 50, 60, 70 and look back and be like, man, you know, because at the end of the day, like those little conversations with him, it's the answer is never, I closed this deal or this happened or took this lead. Like, no, like all of this stuff is just to be able to spend more time with them. And so to me, it's a investment now. I'm investing in work right now so I can spend more time in the future. So
I've had to calendarize my life around my kids.
Yeah.
And it takes sacrifice.
For sure.
Because it will never be any, the biggest leadership role you and I will ever have is dad.
Totally.
You know, and they don't listen to what you say. They watch what you do.
That's the truth. Dude.
You know, and so I've basically changed my whole life because of that.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until they were old enough to start asking me real questions.
Interesting.
And we've talked about that on here when my son saw me drunk. And, you know, and then you're like, you know, they hold you accountable too in a very different way than your job or career ever could.
Yeah.
And so it makes you a better man. You're going to go one of 2 ways with it. You're either going to be the best version of you know, that image for them, and your daughter will marry a version of you, and your son will become a version of you. Your daughter will become a version of your wife, and your son will become a version of your wife. And if you do a good job of molding them.
Yeah.
Right. And it's so challenging because you will fuck up. You will make mistakes with your kids.
Sure.
I saw a therapist a while ago, and amazing guy. And his name's Bryce, and he was the one that when I was like, what do I tell my kids? How do I answer this question? Mm-hmm. And his biggest thing was, I don't give advice. I don't advise. I'm not an advisor.
Yeah.
We will uncover the truth, and then you'll just see it, right? And it would always go back to just brutal honesty. And sometimes you have to leave the brutal and the honesty next to each other. Sometimes you can, depending on their age and certain things, you have to go, I can't just say that.
Yeah.
But I have to say it.
For sure.
So it's an ever evolving leadership role that we will never stop, you know. And then they'll get older, and I mean, I'm 40 years old, and I'm still having, you know, conflicts with my dad and about leadership and decisions and advice and stuff that you still, even as a 40-year-old man, you go, that's terrible. Mm-hmm. I would never say that. I would never do that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then you watch their actions 10 times more when you're an adult. Think about like you having your pops in town. Mm-hmm. You have like the perception of him now is like serious. Mm-hmm. Because you're a father. Yeah. So now you're kind of reliving your childhood. Yeah. So you know where your parents fucked up. You know where you did. And you can kind of go, oh, God, I remember that feeling. Yeah. I remember this conversation. It's weird. It's bizarre.
It's crazy, bro. A lot of levels to this, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fatherhood.
Man, didn't expect to go down that road, but it was a good one.
Let's do it.
Yeah, but it ties into what we talked about at the beginning. Like, are you a hater or a congratulator?
That's it, man.
And like, leading by example, I think, is the greatest lesson you can do. Yep. It's just like, that was one of the best lessons I've learned as a dad. I before my son was born, it was like, oh, how do I teach him this? And it hit me like, just do it. Mm-hmm. Bring him to the gym with you. Yep. Show him this. Yep. You know, but also like watch us get up. I think that's one of the best things we can teach our kids. Yeah, and man. not be scared to show our flaws.
That's right. So, that's right.
Well,
right on.
Wrap this episode 19. Seed time and harvest.
Peace.
Boom.